Audi has finally unwrapped its new 2025 Q6 and SQ6 e-tron models, the brand's third series of electric SUVs that also represent several firsts for the manufacturer. The first Audi models to be built on the Volkswagen Group's Scalable Premium Platform Electric (PPE) platform, the first EVs to be produced at Audi's Ingolstadt plant in Germany, and the first examples of the brand's new cockpit layout and electrical architecture. Their target is the core of the electric luxury SUV space, where they'll brandish new tech inside and out as they vie for sales with the likes of the Cadillac Lyriq, the Genesis Electrified GV70, and the Lexus RZ. Given that we've already seen photos of the new e-tron's interior and driven camouflaged prototypes, the big news is the reveal of the Q6 and SQ6's final exterior design, which is classic Audi, refined, athletic, and conventionally attractive. A chunky grille, blistered fenders, and dazzling lighting elements front and rear all are present on these cars' two-box shapes. Even sleeker sportback variants will join the lineup later on. While the European market examples we saw featured the brand's latest Matrix LED headlights and dynamic OLED taillights that can communicate with other motorists. For example, by emitting emergency signals in response to traffic conditions. Federal regulations mean the headlights on US-bound models will not have their dynamic high beam function enabled, and the taillights will only display animations when the vehicle is parked. That said, drivers will be able to customize both the daytime running lights and the taillights via 8 distinct patterns, smartly sized. At 187.8 inches long, the 5-passenger Q6 and SQ6 slot between the one-size smaller Q4 e-tron and the one-size up Q8 e-tron. Think of them as electric versions of the brand's best-selling Q5, though they ride on a 3.1-inch longer wheelbase, 114.1 inches, that helps make for a surprisingly spacious interior with relatively generous amounts of rear legroom. In terms of cargo capacity, the Q6 and SQ6 feature a so-so 19 cubic feet of storage behind their split folding rear seats and 54 cubic feet with the rear chairs stowed. A small frunk can swallow an additional 2 cubes of stuff. Though there are fewer hard buttons than we generally like, we quickly acclimated to the new setup. Also on hand for assistance is a new AI voice control that can learn a driver's preferences and patterns. Additional highlights include a head-up display featuring augmented reality navigation, dynamic ambient lighting across the dashboard, an 830-watt Bang & Olufsen premium audio upgrade, and the support for over-the-wire updates for software and features. If our prototype drive is anything to go by, these EVs also should be extremely quiet on the road. Of course, a wide range of driver assistance tech will be available on the Q6 and SQ6, with cruise control, rear parking assistance, lane departure warning, automated front emergency braking, and driver distraction and drowsiness warnings all standard. An enhanced Adaptive Driving Assistant Plus system will be optional and will lean on vehicle sensors, high-resolution map data, and cloud data sourced from other vehicles to help guide these Audis along their way. Advanced architecture. A single-motor rear-wheel drive version of the Q6 will eventually come to the US as an entry-level model, but the Q6 and SQ6 e-trons initially will launch with 2 motors and all-wheel drive. Combined output is 422 horsepower for the Q6 and 483 for the SQ6, with a boost mode temporarily upping those figures to 456 and 510 horses, respectively. With the new 94.4 kWh battery, there should be enough thrust to get the Q6 to 60 mph in around 5.0 seconds, according to Audi, as well as enough energy to earn it an EPA range estimate of at least 300 miles. The more powerful SQ6 likely won't go quite as far on a charge, but it will get to 60 mph in a claimed 4.2 seconds. The PPE's 800-volt architecture, which also underpins the new Porsche Macan EV, allows for fast charging at up to a heady 270 kWh. provided you can find a station that pumps out that much juice. Audi says that the system can add more than 150 miles of range in 10 minutes under ideal conditions, and that a recharge from 10 to 80% should take around 21 minutes. At stations limited to 400 volts, the PPE software supports bank charging, whereby the system's computer divides the battery in two and charges both halves in parallel at up to 135 kWh. While Audi says the Q6 and SQ6 will eventually migrate to a North American charging standard, NACS, plug for easy compatibility with Tesla's supercharger network, they'll initially launch with the more common combined charging system, CCS connector. A 9.6 kilowatt onboard AC charger is standard for replenishing the battery at home, with a more powerful 19.2 kilowatt unit to be offered later as an option. When on the move, regenerative braking can be adjusted via paddles on the steering wheel through 5 settings, including one pedal operation and an automatic function. Mechanically, the Q6 and SQ6 differ from the Macan EV in their lack of available rear-wheel steering, as well as Audi's use of an induction AC motor in front and a permanent magnet synchronous AC motor in back. The Macan employs permanent magnet motors front and rear. The Porsche also features a repositioned rear motor assembly that should lend it a slightly stronger rear drive handling balance. Audi's all-wheel drive setup is still rear-biased though, and the SQ6 will come standard with air springs and adaptive dampers. They'll be optional on the Q6. Wheel sizes range from 19 to 21 inches, with the SQ6 having standard 20 inches and optional summer tires. For those planning to tow moderate loads, both models will be rated to tug up to 4,400 pounds. Pricing for the US market has yet to be announced. We expect the Q6 e-tron to start around $66,000, with the SQ6 e-tron likely opening around $72K. That's a fair bit more than the Q5 and SQ5, which currently start at $46,495 and $58,895 respectively. But their new features and fast charging capability should make them compelling EV options in a hotly contested SUV segment. Dear viewers, please share your thoughts on the subject with us.